Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. It is the 17th of April. Easter weekend. So, it's okay. Karina, good morning to you. Jan, good afternoon. Ionis, good morning. Tony, good afternoon. Exponential, how you doing? Ben, how you doing? Okay. So, just looking at this at the moment, we got what's maybe a channel down. It's hard to say. So, incidentally, I'm still on the MES at the moment. That ATR is still a bit high. Even on one contract, average losses over $300. It's just too much, and it could be considerably more. So, this is working out okay. So, until that ATR starts to cool off a little, I'm just going to kind of stay where I am. I have got the normal ES 2000 tick chart on the left, so at least you can see what's going on there. But we got this channel down with a break. I looked at that one, that triple test, but there's quite a bit of support there at that midline, so I decided to leave it alone, but it did work. And then we're coming away, we didn't get to the bottoms, and we had two pushes up, so I was waiting for a lower high. There is one there. It's just gone too far, to be honest with you. Okay, so the market's open. We've had another bounce off there. So that's definitely an area we're struggling to get through. So we'll see how we get on today, but primarily just ranging. I think we started off with a channel up here with the break, new high, and then we started coming down. I'm not sure what caused that. I don't think there was any news around 1 o'clock p.m. 1 p.m. But it just shot up and then came down. So we are struggling to get through. We've had 3 bounces there. So, you know, we had this channel. We had 2 legs up. Strong move down, but we still couldn't get below it. So just going to pause thinking about shorts just at the moment so I can kind of see what I think's going on. It's hard to say, really. It looks like a shoulder, head, shoulder, which is a bearish pattern in this case, but I don't really follow patterns. I'm aware of them. Jan, as well, I wanted to ask you something, bud. Whether there's anything you can do. Now, you see these buttons here, the buy, sell, and close. I was trading the other day, and I opened up a chart and went like this and accidentally clicked on it, and it opened a trade. Now, I say it opened a trade. It didn't technically open it, but I got a little bit tangled up as to what to do, and I ended up just slowly going to the close. Is there any way, without, you know, taking too much time, that you can make those buttons so I can't select them when I'm drawing a channel or something else? Just, do you understand what I mean? So if I click that buy now, and then I bring the market down to complete this channel, I may end up dropping an order in, so it just spooked me a little bit. Now, I know sometimes these things, you know, they're new, they're ongoing, and they kind of, you know, you kind of adjust them. I'm just wondering if there's something you can do that's, you know, obviously I don't want you to spend hours and hours doing it, but if there's a way that if you're drawing any type of a channel, any one of these kind of tools, that you can't accidentally, you know, it deselects those initially, something like that. Have a think, see if there is anything that can be done. So, a bounce yet again. Now, are we going to get through this? I think we probably will. We're close to it now, actually. I expect a bit of a drop if we do. We're very close now. So we've kind of got 2 legs down there. Okay, we are below that now. So I was very tempted to take that. My only slight concern is we've bounced. So I kind of thought, let's wait for a lower high, and we had that strong move down. We did get a lower high, but it's just gone too far, to be honest with you. And I didn't want to go short there with that support. And rightly so, because I don't think it would have worked. Let's have a look. So if I'd have got in there, it bounced 3.5 points, maybe a little bit less. I'm going for a bit more than that now because of the ATR, but 3 points maximum there before it bounced and stopped me out. So the move's already gone there. It's just gone too far. So I'm guessing maybe a leg and a leg, or whether we'll push back into this here, or maybe breakout pullback. Michael, thanks for the stream. You're very welcome, my friend. Anytime. I am done already. Shorted that. Expecting a little push for that. Yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Little Hammer, how you doing, pal? So we have got support here, and as soon as we broke below and cleared, picked up some of this liquidity, is this now moving up? Or are we going to continue down this measured leg? I think that's telling me what I need to know. If that manages to close down here, I'd say it's likely we're going to come down. Doing great yourself. I am, mate. I'm in a good place at the moment. But I don't want to jinx myself. I will say, since I started trading, I primarily traded 2 contracts on the mini. Recently, I decided to go down to 1. So I used to have 2 contracts with 1 loss, and I'm done for the day, and decided to move down to 1 contract with 2 losses. Now, I've moved over to the micros, and I'm finding it a lot more relaxing. So all the times where I've heard people always trade too much, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, I think I'm starting to realise that trading less is better. Now, if I'd have traded less in the past instead of going for too much, you know, a lot of my accounts which got blown may still exist. So, you know what I mean? So this is interesting. We've had a break, 2 pushes up. Let's see where this goes. Interesting, we get a low high. So I'm just wondering whether to stick on the micros. I'm going to have a think about it and work out some things. But if this ATR gets down to 2 or something like that, there's no point. But I do like the fact that trading smaller amounts reduces the stress. It makes perfect sense. The stream is down. Stream health, excellent. What do you mean there, Karina? The stream is down. I think it's working. Can everybody see and hear me? So 2 attempts to push up and a push down. Let's see what happens here. See if we get a lower high here or something. It's working fine. You might mean something else. It's back. Oh, it may just flickered off. See if I go onto my stream health, it's saying excellent. So I don't, may just to drop for a second. It was you, was it? Your fault. We'll blame you. Yeah, I'm looking for maybe a lower high here. 2 attempts to push up. Or we've moved back in and made 2 attempts to go lower, and this could push up. It's hard to say at the moment. I'm going to sit tight here. It's a little bit congested. Wishing everyone a joyful relaxing. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. Yeah, no trading tomorrow. I'm not sure whether the market's open for half day. A lot of the time it is, but I'm not bothering, to be honest with you. I think it's good to take time off. One thing I haven't done a great deal of, I tend to stick it out and just get my head down and carry on. But I think it's important to take a break. This is interesting, this is, because there's a second entry short on the ES, and we've trapped a higher low there. So my guess is it's probably going to break below there, but because it's a bit congested, I'm staying out of this just in case. You know, when it starts to go sideways, as we know, sometimes it can throw you a curveball, and that may go up and stop that bar out. But it is a second entry short. If it gets below there, I see that that disappearing as well. So let's just pop that in there. So if you get below there, you've got made 3 points. If you get below there, you're probably going to hit 4 3/4. So if we get below there, which it has now, I'd say that bottom's going to go as well. Makes perfect sense. If we're coming down, we pick up liquidity there and there. So we're a tick off breaking that. So I'm going for about 4 or 5 points now. So if it breaks below there, that will have hit my target. Had I been trading, yeah. Okay, so that would have worked. It is a second entry short. I don't think it was the worst trade in the world. It's clearly 2 attempts to push up, and both times we've got bearish bar, so it makes sense. Bullish bar, higher low, triggered, come down. It makes sense it's going to break below there. It didn't look the same here. There's 2 bearish bars at the high there above those bullish bars, but it's the other way around here. So I can't really trade it. You can place the button upper right hand corner. Yeah, I can, can't I? That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I'm rarely drawing channels up here. I mean, it wasn't a major issue, but you know when you just get into a situation and you panic, don't you? So I just let go, and I thought nothing's open. I just slowly went down to close, and it worked. But yeah, of course. Let me just edit it. Let's have a look. So button pixel buffer from the bottom. So I'm guessing, let's have a look. Pixel buffer from bottom. I don't know. That's it. Let's have a look. Middle. Got you. Top. So I go at that. Excellent. That's much better. So if I'm going to sell it, that goes up here. Close.
Order
I'm going to buy it.
Order submitted.
That goes down here for limit order. Yeah.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, I'm sorted now. So if I click buy and
Order
put it up
submitted.
here, it has a buy stop, doesn't it? Yeah.
Order cancelled.
So sell it, drop it up here. Actually, yeah, okay. That's fine. Lovely. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Right, let's just have a little look here. Have we got something larger? It's possible. So a little bit of a range. We've broken out of it. Actually, do you know what? I prefer it in the middle. I'm used to it there. It's okay. I know what to do now. Once you've done it a couple of times, not a major issue. Edit. I've got it at the top at the moment. Let's put it in the middle. I kind of used to it now. The thing about that is I go sell
Order
above,
submitted.
close
Order
by below.
Order submitted.
I
Order
mean, if I
cancelled.
accidentally hit it,
Order
all I've got to do
submitted.
is either put it above or below or go towards
Order
the close. Yeah,
cancelled.
that's fine. Apex is not good anymore. Submitted my payout request. It's under review. Last month this happened too. They asked me to send them proof trading video. What I will say is I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think what's happening is I started seeing a lot of these adverts for these companies that will trade for you. So I don't think they're after not paying you. I think they just want you to confirm that it's you pulling the trigger and not some sort of either an automated bot or someone trading. So all I would do, mate, is put the camera behind you, turn around, look at the camera. I don't know, say your name or whatever, and just take some trades. I don't think it matters whether they want to see you actually trade or not, but just put your, I wouldn't panic about it too much. How many times? But what I do is just message them and saying, you've asked for me once before. Do you still need it again? I've already submitted one before. Perhaps they pick people at random. I don't know. But first and foremost saying, okay, I appreciate your email. This has happened before. Can you just check my records and see that I've already submitted a video in the past? Will that be good enough for you, or do you really need me to do it again? I know it's a pain in the arse. 5 million payout spending over 2 traders split between, yeah. I think a lot of people are trading accounts, and I suppose it makes sense that they want to stop it. So that's the only reason I think that they, want to see proof. That's the one thing I don't need to worry about. Obviously, being a streamer, I'm assuming they know who I am. I'm assuming they're affiliates. I mean, if they've got any streamers out there, I mean, I'm small fish compared to the likes of Nutty and Alpine, but I dare say I'm probably on their radar, so, I don't have that problem. But I wouldn't panic about it. It is a pain in the arse. Hang on, sorry, I got here late. Is that an indicator, those buy and sell buttons? That, my friend, is, if you look, in fact, I'll open the... so, if you look at the comments here, a key tree, as he's called here, or Jan, we know him. He's a developer as well as a trader and many other things, and he's developed this strategy. So I'll show you his website, and you can go on there. Now it's free to use. He doesn't charge, but there is. You can. This is it here. You can give him a donation, which I did. I think it's good to do. He gives us some useful tools, but we've got a trading journal. We've got NewsGuard, which you can see on my left here I use this, which gives us those indications, visual and verbal indications when the news, and Ninja Trader Tools. So if I go into Ninja Trader Tools, easy order, that's what it there. So you can download it here and add it to you, but it just makes life easier. See, at the moment, if I want to put a sell order in, I've got to right-click up here, go down to sell order and open it, whereas all I've got to do is click, and I've got a limit order already. So it's super quick. And I've got the close button there if I'm monitoring a trade, rather than having to sort of head up to here. It's useful. So I heard good things about TF, though. TF. Are you on about gone blank? Take profit trading on about? You're welcome, mate. Okay, so there's 3 I like. Apex is my primarily, partly because I've been with them for so long now. I feel comfortable. I know how they work. Take profit trade, yeah. And there's 2 others that there's one other that I advertise on here. Take Profit Trader. I hear good things about Take Profit Trader. I also watched the interview that Patrick Whelan did with the CEO. Now, I believe he's an ex-professional, I was going to say wrestler. He's an ex-professional hockey player. I'm assuming ice hockey player. And I liked how he came over. So, and My Funded Futures is another one as well. There was a few niggly things about My Funded Futures, but Take Profit Trader have a good name, I think. So for me personally, Apex, I know Apex have had a few hiccups, but all companies do. So, but everybody's different. I mean, I started out in my prop business with Earn to Trade, and then it was next. I think it was UProfit next, and then someone introduced me to Apex, and I like Apex because okay, so the 2 others, the 2 others I think about when I think about prop firms, Take Profit Trader and My Funded Futures. My Funded Futures is about $95. Now, there's no PA fees, but if you fail it, your evaluation has cost you $95. what is it, $85 or $100 or something, take profit trader. Same again, there's no fees if you pass it, but if you fail it, it's an expensive evaluation. That's why I like Apex. It's $33 or $35, and if I fail it, that's how much it's cost me. So personally, I prefer a cheaper evaluation and to pay for my PA fee if I pass it. I like to have that option that I'm not kind of stuck. There is a failure there technically. That technically is a second entry long. I'm not in the market for a trade at the moment because we've had 3 bounces here, so I'm sick of Apex now. To be honest with you, it depends on your experience. I've not had any issues with them. Don't get me wrong, I've had denials, quite a few of them. But then when I follow the rules, I've never been denied. And hand on heart, on my daughter's life, it's on the left, isn't it? When I follow the rules, I've had a bunch of denials, and a bunch of them when I've taken a stupid risk. But when I follow the rules, I don't have an issue. And I like that. I know they've had hiccups. I've just picked this up this morning, a 12-year-old Abaloa, as it's Easter weekend. Well, I picked up 2 bottles, actually, but this will be the first. But, everybody's has their own way. And I'd say if there's one you like or you prefer, stick with it. Don't do it because I do it or do it because somebody else does it. Do what you feel's right. That's what's important. Trade how you feel. Don't let anybody tell you any difference. Take advice or guidance from other people, but make your own minds up. Why am I not opening this? Oh, yeah. You got to do what's right for you and what you feel comfortable with. Don't listen to me. Don't listen. Have a bit of advice and all that, but then make your own decisions. Take profit trader are good at the moment because they have that. I think you move straight onto a pro account where I think there's no daily consistency rules. So that's what I'm looking for. So I think my take profit trader first and foremost, I think is probably the best offer at the moment. So now there is a bit of a correction here. 2 legs up. I'm not getting involved in here because we've made a new low from here and we've bounced 3 times. But that does look like a correction. I follow strict rules. Last year, my 15 plus requests were accepted and 3 or 4 denied. For denial, I broke some rules, but they approved the requests swiftly. But this year they became so pathetic. Yeah, I can't sort of comment on an individual thing. But I had some denials last time, but I followed the rules this time. So fingers crossed. So we've got a channel with a break. Let's just have a look here. It does look like a correction, that, but this to me is like a triple bounce. So it's starting to go a little bit choppy again. Oh, well, that makes my week, that does. Cheers, everyone. I hope everyone has a great Easter weekend. Back on Monday. It's bank holiday in the UK on Monday, but I'll be trading. Just tomorrow off. So 3 days is enough for me. Cheers, buddy. Oh, that's about the third bottle I've had of that. I bought that and an Ardbeg 10 heavily peated. It's nice. I do like my peated whiskies. I'm trading. It's just too punishing. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. How you doing, Lucas? If valuations weren't like $30, they couldn't compete. Yeah, we are lucky having prop firms because most of us, I certainly couldn't afford to trade. I can pass an evaluation, pay $130, $140, whatever it is, and I can have $2,500 to play with. If you trade your own account, that would cost you $2,500. So we're lucky, really. If it wasn't for prop firms, most of us would be screwed. I certainly would be anyway. But, you've got to do your own thing. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. You've got to do what makes you comfortable. So channel break, new high. Now, we've got to me, which looks like a bottoming pattern. So whether you like this channel down, we've had a break of it and a new low, or this channel down, we've had a break of it and a new low, that kind of looks like a reversal kind of pattern to me. We've had a bounce a little bit lower. We couldn't get back down, and then we're going up. So we have a growth. We certainly do. The only slightly downside to prop firms is because they're so cheap, the tendency is to take a risk, and it can get you into bad habits. And I know from experience. Whereas if you're trading your own money, you've got to be a lot more careful, and I think it's a lot more stressful to learn. So I think prop firms have opened up the industry to a lot more people than ordinarily, would. We tend to overlook. We absolutely do, mate. Yeah. If you think about it, if I've paid 30, let's say $35 for an evaluation, which I passed, I paid $130 for my fee, so that's $165. And I've got $2,500 to play with. So, although I have that $2,500, it's only really cost me $165. So there's that sort of conundrum. You know what I'm saying? So the tendency is when things start to, they start to run away from you, and you start to get in a bit of bother. Sometimes it's very easy to think, oh, I'll take a risk or I'll move my stop because it hasn't really cost me $2,500. So let's see if I can get away with it. And it can get you into bad habits. I know from, take profit trader, I think is about the best option at the moment with no fees. And I believe you go onto a pro account, which means there is no consistency rule. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I would say probably take profit trader followed by my fund of futures. At some point, once I make a bit more money, I'd like to give Traderify a go because it's straight to funded. Now I would say I would use probably Apex first to learn to trade because the evals are cheap. When you start to make money, have Apex, my funded futures, and take profit trader. And when you're making regular money, then I probably would add on Traderify, because if you're making money and you can trade, Traderify enables you to get straight onto funded. So I kind of like that route: Apex, my funded futures, and take profit, and then Traderify. And I think as well, when you start to make money, it's good to have multiple prop firms. It's good to diversify. You don't want all your eggs in one basket, just in case. You never know what may happen in this industry. A company could, we saw it with that other company that went down. Mind you, he was an idiot, to be honest with you. I heard him talking on, I don't know, some podcast or something, and every other word was a swear word. He sounded like a thug, and that is not someone I want to add my money to. and they went bust. So, you know, really, when you start to make money, you want to diversify and have multiple prop firms that way. You know, God forbid, if something were to happen, one of them, the damage to you is limited then, or minimal. Fast track trading, yeah. To be honest with you, as soon as I heard that guy talk, I thought, I'm not giving you a penny of my money. Because that is not how you expect a CEO to come across, mouthing off, arguing with people, swearing. That just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't come over as very professional. PJ Capital. Are you on about him or something else? So, on the 10,000 tick chart, there looks like there's a short trap there. We've triggered below it, and this thing looks like it's pushing up. So if I'd taken that second entry short there, I'd be concerned this was going to stop me out. So this may push up a bit higher. So 10,000 tick chart. Now, whether that's a channel or not, I don't know. But if it is a break, it may work. But when you get a bearish bar and it crosses over, triggers and starts working up like that, that concerns me. It may work. But it's just taking quite a bit of heat there. We've got an inside bar here. It's no real good either on the 2000 tick chart, so I'm just sitting tight. So yeah, looking at this doesn't look like it's in a hurry to come down. I'm guessing this is going to get stopped out. Having said that, we've had this channel down with 2 pushes up. Is it testing this level here? Or have we had a triple test here with a bounce? There is a second entry short here, but I'm sitting tight here. Mainly because that 10,000 tick chart, that bar there looks super vulnerable. So my gut feeling is that is more than likely going to get stopped out unless it triggers this and moves down sharpish. A second entry short rarely takes that much heat and doesn't get stopped out. On occasion it does, but as soon as that starts heading towards me, you know, I'm concerned. So my gut is that's going to get taken out. It doesn't, that's rare that happens and it doesn't stop it out, but you never know. So we've got 3 bounces here, but we've also got up to this area in turn. So if we can get a lower high below the EMA, but my gut feeling is it may get up here again. I've got to be, I'm not touching a trade in here. Every time I get into this type of trade, I get stung. So push up rate, new high, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower. Let's see if this fails. How many points does Dan and Marco go for in this kind of volatility? Dan, I'm not sure. I think Dan is sticking to his 6 ticks. Marco, I think I saw him commented he's going for maybe 3 points. But I think you have to go for a bit more. If the ATR is double what it normally is, that means your risk is double. You've got to increase your profit in my book. But Dan is a very consistent trader, so I'm guessing he probably doesn't. Dan was going for 16 when it was really okay, so maybe he is. Maybe he is going for 16 ticks. So what's that? That's 4 points. So if it's been 8 and 10 and 12, that's half the ATR. So that makes sense. I think you have to, if your risk is bigger, I think really you owe it to yourself to put your profit price up. Otherwise, you are kind of you're doing yourself out there, and you've got your head on the chopping block a bit. So 2 legs back and a strong bounce. So we've pushed up and we've bounced once, twice, 3 times. Now that I don't think is a terrible trade. But every time I take trades in this chop, I end up getting stung. So I'm sitting tight. But it is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, however you want to look at it. We lowered it back down. Yeah, that ATR has come down. It's still a little bit high for me. Once it gets below 4, that's a little bit more comfortable to manage. So looking on the 2000 tick chart, we've pushed up. We've gone 1, 2, 3 triple test. It's congested. So I wouldn't rely on that triple test. It is 3 little bounces, but it's still choppy. So for me, I think it's still a bit too dangerous to trade. Volatility before high enough. 6 ticks was guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, even on a bad trade, you're going to get a point, aren't you? I think in most cases. I mean, when it was 10 and 12, I mean, I opened up my trade with a 3-point stop loss, and it was tiny. So yeah, you've got to change accordingly. You've got to adapt with conditions. So we push up, 2 legs back. Makes sense that this pushes up. I still think this bar's vulnerable. Price is holding above the EMA. There's bound to be liquidity there, 2 legs up. Now, this is the 10,000 tick chart, I admit, but for me, that is vulnerable. So my gut is this is probably going to push up. And looking at the chart here, we've had a push up with a break of new high. You can clearly see 2 legs down. And a move up. So my gut feeling is we're probably going to break this level, which would stop out that bar on a 10,000 tick chart. So I don't think that's a terrible trade. 2 legs back, but it is still choppy. So I'll just get a little bit cautious about this. Risk 15 points to make. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Wow, look at that. Quick drop down. See how quick that. It never broke below there. But look at that. I mean, that's a quick drop, that was. We're getting more and more of those when it's choppy. So is this... Yeah, I'm going to say it. The way that's pushed up, there's traders wanting to protect this area. I think this thing looks like it's coming down. It went up for enough points, depending on how you... depending on where you got in. So if you took that, you'd have certainly got 5 points out of it, depending on where you got in. But this market, sometimes it's got a tendency of doing this. I think as soon as you start to push up, if you are going for the top, I think it's important to get your stop to break even relatively quick. Because if it does do that, it's done that a few times. It did it the other day. Came down, I don't know, huge amount of points quickly. Fell second entry long, yeah. Trouble is, it did that so quick, didn't it? It just dropped. So, my guess is now Depends how you look at this, whether we're having two legs up. But that second entry short did hold. So, depends on what you kind of take. I think for me, if it gets below there, it'll push below there. So, you know, there's 9 points here. Bearing in mind, this is a lot bigger time frame. But if it gets below there, for me, it'll break there. But with that move down, we could get two pushes up, leg and a leg. I think we will. Breakout pullback. I won't want to trade there, but it did attempt to push up and then reversed. Pretty messy, yeah. It has been all week, to be fair, hasn't it? I've heard quite a lot of people saying it's been tough, and somebody mentioned yesterday Dan hadn't taken a trade all week, so this is definitely the time to sit on the sidelines and just, you know, kind of pick your moments. If you don't see anything, you know, I've found when I trade these markets, I get chopped to pieces. So the simple answer for me is wait till we get some decent breakout and then maybe get in. But when it's doing this, unless you've been doing this years, and I certainly haven't, you've really got to be careful. We've got a channel down there. We've got to break in a new low, but we have had one push up and a second push up. But taking a trade there for me isn't an option because this thing could just lash backwards and forwards in different directions. I mean, look at that. We push straight up, trigger above that bullish bar, come straight down, pull back a bit, turn and push straight up. So it's, you know, it's dangerous at the moment, this price. It is tough to trade, yeah, but you know, sort of patience is part of it. So I think it's, you know, if I sit here all day and don't take a trade, I actually give myself a pat on the back. And if you do that, I think it's good. It's good to do that. It's a good exercise in patience. You know, sitting here and doing nothing is a big part of this job. And when you first start, it's hard to do. It's near damn impossible. But with time, you know, you get better at it. But when it is chopping like this, unless you really know what you're doing, and I wouldn't consider myself in that bracket, you just got to sit on the sidelines and wait for something that, you know, that uniquely. So you're great. I appreciate that, mate. I'm getting better. You know, I've been doing this now for a few years. So I'm getting better, but it's a slow process, and it's a painful process. But if you stick at it, you know, your rewards will come in time. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but you try, you know, you try telling me that. I appreciate that, mate. It's always nice to get a comment, isn't it? You're doing something right. I still have my little wobbles from time to time. I find if my discipline's good, my trade choice, I'm in a great place. One loss, okay. As soon as I get two losses, that's when the doubts come in. But for me, I'm starting to learn that you have to keep your foot on the gas. You have to keep trading with those extra special trades. As soon as you start to slacken off, you get slapped on the wrist. So I'm trying to keep that in my mind. Only wait for those trades that jump out at you and wave in front of you. And when you see those trades, jump on them and commit. You know, if you think it's doing this, or it kind of looks like this, or it's a bit choppy, but I think I like this, those are the types of trades you just got to stay away from. But it does take time to get that, and I'm getting better at it. But I'm now at two losses. Yeah. One loss, so, sometimes it's like getting slapped, isn't it? One loss. When you get two losses, it feels like a full-on punch in the face. And no one likes, you know, I think it was Mike Tyson, wasn't it? Someone said, everyone's got a plan until Mike Tyson punches you in the face. So, you know, I feel like one loss is a slap, which you recover from, but two losses, It is like a full-on fist in the teeth. And that sometimes makes you question your trades. You know, it's amazing how you can go from feeling really confident in a great place to feeling like a bag of shit within the space of 10 minutes. But I think the key is, and I have to keep reminding myself, and I am getting better at it all the time. I think every time you take losses, you get better and better at filtering out the shit and staying out of the market at the important times, like now when it's chopping around. And once it starts to break free and clear of this, that's when you're kind of looking for your, your entries. But while it's doing this, it's very easy to get stung. Unless, someone like Matt could probably trade these markets, relatively easily. But, he says, he was saying it a couple of days ago that it's tough trading this stuff. So, if a 27, 28-year-old veteran is telling us that, then, that should make us feel a little better. But, it could go anywhere here, couldn't it? I mean, I would say just off the top of my head, we seem to be doing this at the moment. So we've had this leg down with a break, new low there, and we do seem to be chopping at the moment. Trouble is, when we're doing this, you never know whether we're going to, if it gets to the bottom, whether it's going to bounce and push up or whether it's going to finally break. That's the trouble with range, is you need to wait for a decent setup. It's very easy to just buy from the bottom and it triggers you and stings you. And obviously, sometimes the bottoms and the tops are kind of in different places every time they bounce. So I need 2 more profitable days of $50 out of the next 5, and I should be able to withdraw 7. Sorry, I've had 3 profitable days, fortunately. So I need 2 more profitable days out of the next 5 of $50 or more. The others I can just flip, and that should give me access to $7,000 to $8,000. So I can continue my monthly consistency. It's definitely been the toughest month so far this year. I've definitely had a couple of wobbles. But when you do get a wobble, the longer you've been doing it, and you do toughen up to it, and it has less of an effect on you. I had a few days off, was it last week or week before, because I felt in need of a little break. I was getting a bit frustrated, and I will say, if you've had a bad day and you feel like you're playing catch up, you're best off either trade micros or take the day off, because if you come back to trading frustrated and feeling like you need to get your money back, it's a bad combination. You really want to stay away, because chances are you're going to chop up even more. So you need to come back when you're feeling, okay, I'm ready and positive. So if you do get a bad day or a bad week, get away for a day or two. It will make a big difference. We become boxers with granite. You do toughen up. There's no... I've been, and I got no issues with saying this, twice I've been in tears. Once kind of in fact, twice last year before last. But recently, every time I get a punch in the face, it seems to hurt less and less. And you do bounce back. But what I found is when I get a bad hiccup for 2, 3 or 4 weeks, I'm blowing accounts. I'm not doing that anymore. For a couple of days, my trading is questionable and iffy, which is why I decided to take a little break. But I've come back not so bad. So every time you do get slapped, it does have less of an effect, but you do toughen up to it. It's like everything, you've all heard of people in relationships, that have had half a dozen bad breakups or whatever. They do toughen up. It is true. If you walk around, if you went outside of your front door and started walking around in bare feet, by the end of the week, you'd be cut to ribbons. 3 months later, you'd be running around like Tarzan. with nothing on your feet. So, you know, we do have a way of adapting. Not only do our bodies have a way of adapting, our emotions do as well. You know, the brain kind of works the same as the body. It's really, really good at adapting. So, a little bit of chop here. We've had a leg and a leg down. Now, if I get a decent bounce here, would I want to go long? I think I'd rather wait for a higher low if we did. So, now whether it's that or that, I'm going to go with that. Break, 2 pushes to a new low. If we get a higher low here, I may have a go at it. I'm not as good at picking tops and bottoms, so you're a lot safer taking the higher low. If you get a higher low, chances are it'll get back to the EMA at least. But just looking at the 10,000 tick chart, this is telling me we could go a bit lower. So I'm just going to sit tight here. But that looks like a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. The bar's not fantastic anyway. It's no better on the, it's even worse on the 2000 tick chart. So a decent bounce and a higher low is the better option to go long, just the EMA. I have a bad day for any reason. I don't trade. As I've said, Karina, I think women make better traders than guys. You know, for me, I've always had my head down and come back like a bull in a china shop, and it's detrimental. It doesn't work. Taking a break from a day or two, if you've still got your accounts and you've still got money in there and you've been battered, coming back is just going to destroy your accounts. I can't stress enough. And it's hypocritical for me to say that because it's something I've rarely done. But it does work. Because I guarantee if you had 2,500 in your account, in all your accounts, and you lost $1,000, you'd feel battered and bruised. Now the tendency is to try and get it back, and 8 times out of 10 that'd end up with blowing your accounts. If you took 3 days off and came back, you'd be coming back to a bunch of accounts with $1,500 in. So it's very easy to jump back in and blow those accounts. Whereas if you take a few days off, process it, wait till you're feeling clearly, then you come back and you've got money then. You know, if half the times if I've blown 5 or 10 accounts because I've lost 1,000 and I've lost the rest of it, you know, a week later, if you said to me, here's a bunch of accounts with $1,500 in, I'd snap your hand off. So it's important there just to try and get away. But don't trade when you're frustrated because it's a surefire way of blowing accounts, and blowing accounts is never a good thing. Rodian, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you doing well. Thanks, mate. Hopefully you are as well. I don't know why. This is just... Oh, okay. Thanks, mate. Good to see you. Or good to hear from you. But yeah, you know, it's good to get away. There's coming back to trading when you've been battered around it's a recipe for disaster, I assure you. And I know you want to. The tendency is to just, I want to get back. I want to get back. It's almost like it's like gravity sucking you in, isn't it? I'm trying to take a break. It's good to take a break. I had a few days off. I think I had a day or two at the end of the week, and then a couple of days at the beginning. I had an appointment, which was one of them. But you come back fresh then, and then whatever you've got in your account is valuable. At the time, you don't think that way. So I think there's a good chance we have a leg and a leg down. So a second entry short here might not be a bad option. Let's just extend this to there. So channel break, new low, maybe retesting. Yeah, it's just it's not super clear at the moment. It does take time as well to add caution. So many times out of impulse I'd see something and just jump in. That I'm doing that less and less. You know, it is important to sit back and analyze your trades and just have a think what you're doing. what were you doing? And I do feel like the best way to describe it is when you first learn to drive. Now, in the UK, we're a lot better drivers than you are in the US because we have gear sticks. It's a lot more technical. I won't go into the details of it, but I'm only kidding. But, you know, I remember first learning to drive and I was thinking I've got 3 pedals down here and a gear stick here. And I spent most of my time just looking at the road going like this, trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. And that's what I feel like with trading. Once you get a bit of experience, you feel like you can let your feet and your hand with a gear stick do all the work and you can lift up and look around. And I remember, you know, when I first learned to drive and it started to come together, I could, you know, look at the view, have a look around, see what's in the fields and, you know, see what's going on. And that's why I find my tradings look like I don't have to think about it. A lot of it starts to become second nature and you can start to take a breath. And you, when it comes to taking a trade, you actually have a little bit more time than you think. You don't have to automatically jump in, buy or sell. I was a killer for doing that. You know, you have got time to open a trade and drag it into place because so much of the time price does come back. But that does take a bit of time, but it's something I'm getting much better at it. Thomas Wade talks about an area of development after a channel played out. Thomas Wade talks about an area of development after a channel played out. And I think it's very wise to wait until a new trend forms. Yeah, I heard him say something like that, whether it was in his comments or not, but I agree. Let me just turn my heater on. Yeah, it's always good to sit back sometimes and have a think. And also, if you're not sure of a trade or what the market's doing, leave it alone. Much better to not take a trade than lose a trade. So channel break, new low. Where do I think this is going? Is it going to test these lows? It's a bit of an odd looking chart, isn't it, really? We've had this big move up. We've had 2 pushes down and we're kind of chopping around. But we do seem to be tipping. So, you know, whether we got something like this, doesn't look terrible, in which case that's indicating we're probably going to continue down. Whether it's now or whether we pull back first, but definitely a bearish feel to it at the moment. But yeah, it is good time to sit and have a reflect. Pulled up, pull some back up. $25 pizza time. Pull some back up. I'm not sure what you mean there, Sam. Remember, I'm British, mate. Pull some back up to 25. It's the time. I thought you were talking about a pizza for a minute. You might be, actually, I don't know. And yesterday, Thomas Lesson, I did watch a bit of it, actually. We had a huge downtrend which played out and then reversal pattern that failed. And he talks about these areas of development. It was a real insight. Now, the only thing is in the UK is usually when Mac and Thomas Wade put their videos, it's usually around midnight. So if I wake up at night or I'm not asleep, I usually watch it on my phone, sometimes my earbud, so I don't take it all in. But I do watch his trades, so now you mentioned that, I'll have another look later. Area of development, yeah, it sounds like an area that's kind of wants to work out where it's likely to go. So, yeah. So at the moment, with this pullback, it kind of looks like it may be 2 legs down, which would take us to these lows, actually. So that kind of looks leg down, correction, leg down. So my guess is it's quite likely. It keeps crashing it. Does it really? Someone else mentioned that. You too. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's my internet that's freaking out a little bit. Have a look. Speed checker. Start. I mean, I have great internet where I have. There you go. That'll give you an idea. That's my current download speed. It's usually more than that. It's usually around about the 900s. I mean, that's good. And that's good as well. I used to have, when I first started streaming, twice crashed. When I first started streaming, I got about 15 megabits upload. I'm getting over 900 there, see, so... yeah, whether it's the software or not, I don't know. But the good thing about OBS is it does reconnect. So if it does go down a little bit, don't worry, yes, if I bring this in, it might look a bit funky, but at the moment, it's excellent. Stream healthy, suggestion, the stream current bitrate is bloody, bloody, bloody. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but could be YouTube. It may be, yeah. I mean, if it does go down for a second, don't sweat it. Just give it a second to kick back in. So we are getting down to what looks like this. It does look like a leg down with a correction. In fact, I remember saying there's a correction there, but there's something about it I don't like, and it came down and went up. So I think that's more of a correction. It went up to probably pick up liquidity around about here, I'm guessing. So leg down, correction, leg down. So that worked. Also a bigger leg down with a correction. So I'm guessing this will get down to at least the bottoms, but where I've got my measured leg, it's below the lows of the day. So I'll be amazed if it doesn't get this. It blows my mind how accurate these things are. I watched a bit of another guy I like, really, really lovely guy, is Bart. He had a tough day yesterday. I watched a bit of his stream. I like to know what's going on. And he had a bad day yesterday. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, you just can't seem to get things right. Hopefully he's having a better day. I'm just flicking over and having a look. Ah, he is, yeah, good. Oh yeah, he's had a good start today. Good on him. Okay, so that worked. I thought it might do. So 2 legs down. Now whether it's there, you're thinking, or what it might be. But if you can spot these legs with a correction, like Max says, often this is the centre of the pattern. If you can get into a decent position there, you know, you may be able to hold it. Or if you've got a runner. I like Bart. He's a nice guy. You don't hear much from Wilson anymore. I used to chat Wilson all the time, but he's gone a bit quiet. He seems to come and go, Wilson, doesn't he? 1 minute he's there, next minute he's kind of disappearing into the background a little bit. I've got to say, I remember the first time I saw Wilson trading, I thought, I want to be like that guy. He was trading about 30, 35 contracts. And he looked like he was earning a flipping fortune, but it was actually a sim in the end. And then when he moved on to prop firms, he turned into a complete different trader. It's amazing how that markets can do that to you. As soon as you start to add money in the mix, it just changes you. On a sim, anyone can do well. Yeah, but that's my point. It's weird how, you know, you can seem to be really successful. So it just goes to show, you read in the markets, and you know, if you can trade consistency on a sim, you can obviously read the charts. So it's like, you know, it's like walking at a tightrope. If you walk a tightrope 100 foot in the air, it's completely different from walking a tightrope a foot off the ground. But it, you know, you can do it, but it just goes to show when you start to add money into the mix, it changes you. That's the thing about being human, isn't it? Emotions aren't really useful. for the most when you're a trader. So we've constantly got that battle. It's a shame you can't take a pill, isn't it, just to get rid of emotions. You can get pills for everything else, just not trade. If you could just take a quick pill before you trade, and it just gets rid of your emotions for a couple of hours, that'd be a winning. Sam, trading this environment is really tough. Yeah, it is. You do, mate. Yeah, you got to spend a lot of time. Now, I've a little weakness of mine. Now, if you speak to my wife, she'll say I got a lot of them. But a particular weakness of mine I've noticed is taking trades when it's congested. There may be a setup. There was a trade the other day I took, channel down with 2 pushes up. Now, when I looked at it later, the setup looked kind of nice, but it was congested. And I have a little bit of a weakness for that. So I was, analysing my chart the other day and thinking about it. And it is important to recognise, these little problems you might have, and then just keep them in mind when you're trading. Have a sticky note or something like that that says, taking a trade, is it congested first? Have that little sort of tick test that you do. Yes, trade, how you doing, buddy? No, according to Mac, risk reward doesn't matter. Go for it. It may not matter to Mac. If you're a consistent trader and you've been doing this for years, if he likes a trade and he takes it, it doesn't matter whether he risks 20 points. If he's winning 99% of the time, it doesn't make a difference. But to everybody else, if you're a business, if you've got a shop and you sell, I don't know, eggs, if the farmer starts charging you 3 times the price, you have to put your prices up. Otherwise, you're doing yourself out of a living. Do you pay contracts fees on 8? You do, yeah. I think it's about just under $4 round trip per contract. So 2 contracts, if you're trading 2 contracts, is just under $8, I think. It's about $4 round trip, to open a trade and close it per contract. So you're back now. Did I go again? Did I? Telling people it doesn't matter. It's absolutely dangerous. Yeah. I think Mac's kind of blinded by the fact that he's been doing it that long. He doesn't know any different. I certainly don't think he does it on purpose. It's just kind of his way he works. So channel down, that looks like a small break to me. So I'd like to see 2 legs up if this thing does come down further. But yeah, I don't think Mac does it on purpose. It's just when you've been doing something so long, it's very hard to remember what it was like when you started. Have you started trading your personal account? I haven't yet, mate. I'm too scared to, in all honesty. What I want to do, to be honest with you, I want to start putting money in and building up a little bit till I can get maybe 5 or 6 or 7,000, and then I may just trade a single contract. I still have these little weaknesses which are getting better. So until I do, I just kind of want to, you know what it's like, mate, don't you? Means, but he's deadly witch. He teaches the way to ignore. Yeah, I mean, you have to. Things change. You might not want them to. Things change. Now, if you've been doing something for so long and it works for you, I understand not why you might not change. But if you look back at and incidentally, I don't mean this as a criticism for Mac at all. The guy's given me a skill that is hopefully going to change my life. So I don't mean this as a criticism. I think Mac is an absolute genuine guy. What he gives to people, the value he gives to people and the time for so little he charges, I think is brilliant. And I only wish him well. But, you know, things change, and for newer traders coming into the markets, if you look back on Mac's older videos, and I suggest you do actually have a look back just out of curiosity, he traded quite different then. You know, many times I saw him take a trade with a tick above and below the signal bar, still only risking 1.5 points. So taking a point there, that makes perfect sense. But obviously, you know, more and more people trading, more money flowing in and out the markets. I mean, at the moment, the ATR is probably the lowest it's been, and it's still about 5, which is double what it usually is. So I think if your signal bar and your risk bar is bigger, it doesn't mean your profit bar is still going to stay the same as it usually is. Every bar is bigger. So it makes sense you have to up your profit a bit. It doesn't make sense not to me. As I say, if you've got a shop and you know you're buying tins of baked beans and you're paying 50 pence and selling for £1, if your cost goes up to 90 pence, 99 pence, you're not making profit. You're risking losing money and losing your business. So you have to kind of go with it. Yeah, I mean, I got to say, thinking back when I first started, I remember taking 4 winning trades in a row, and I felt really proud of myself. I'd kept me discipline, and I lost the 5th trade, and I ended up wiping out all my profit and going into the red. And I just thought, oh, how am I going to make this work? And that was nearly 4 years ago. Now, you know, things are a lot more volatile. ATR's a lot higher, so it's even harder to make it work. No, exactly right. Not every strategy is good for every person. You know, I don't know how to you know, distinguish what might be good for a certain trader. I'd say if you're a stressor and a panicker, you know, and you're not very good with pressure, you might suit more of a swing trading type of mentality. But I don't know. I'm quite a wired person. I think these type of trading conditions suit me. I think. You know, I'm a little bit wired, as you guys know. I'm not a very calm. Am I not very calm? My brain seems to work at about 1.5 speed. My brain's always quite active, so I think these conditions kind of suit my personality. I could be completely wrong, but you know, they're not for everyone. So we've had a break of this channel and a new low, and now we're pushing up. So are we going to come down much lower, or is that kind of it? If we look at that to these lows and then that, there is still a little bit more space for a measured move. Having said that, if you go from here, measured moves, no, tell a lie, I had that like that, didn't I, initially? If you're going from there, we've surpassed, I'm not sure at the moment. So it makes me laugh when he marks green trades after a met. Yeah. I think he's just, when you've had a certain mentality for a certain amount of time and it works for you, you don't know any different. You know, they say sometimes people, you know, they're set in their ways, and it's true. And you know, I absolutely get the reason being why change, or why try and fix something that's not broken if it works for him. And I'm guessing, you know, we don't know how much Mac makes on his runners. He's been doing that for so long. For him, it works. Why change it? And I absolutely get that. Yeah, take all red trades. Yeah. In real time, what may look like a high probability trade after the fact is completely different than when you're looking at it, printing, and you don't know what's going to happen next. So, you know, if you, for instance, this thing here, we got 2 pushes up in a bearish bar. Now, most cases, I think that one might push down, but not always. We could have a leg down with a correction and a leg down. We may bounce up here, push up, trap some shorts and push up higher. But after the fact, we can see there's a channel with a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. So you could potentially mark that as a high probability trade. But in real time, when you're seeing market bouncing off support here, it may not work. So that there's a clear distinction between what looks good when you look at a completed chart to what looks good, when we're looking at this and we can't see what's going on next. And that's the difference. Mac marks kind of what he sees at the end of the day as opposed to what, it's just the way he does it. I'd love him to do it, or at least at the end of the day to say, okay, this is what I can see now. But at real time, I took that and I took that 3 bounces. I'd love him to say, those were the 2 I saw that I thought I were considered good trades at the time. I don't know why he doesn't say that. But yeah, he's probably got his reasons, hasn't he? Yeah, sometimes when you're that good at something, you've been doing it, it's second nature. You don't know any different. And sometimes it's hard to kind of remember, what it was like when you started. So, as I say, he doesn't do it to be awkward or anything like that. He's not that type of guy. You can just tell that. But people do things the same way for such a long time. They don't know any different. Yeah, Alfredo. I've said this a few times. I'm not bad mouthing him at all, and I've said this. It's just an observation. That's all. It's not bad mouthing at all. I think Mac is a genuine guy. Now, it's okay to like something. It's okay to love a band and say, I wish they'd start doing some of the music that they used to do. It's, some people get kind of very defensive when you say something. Stream's crashing again, is it? You might just have to sit tight and push through it, bud. But it's not bad mouthing. I'm not insulting anyone or slagging them off or anything like that. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that type of person. It's okay to like someone but wish they'd add something extra, or I wish they'd give us a little bit more. It's okay to do that. So it's not bad mouthing him at all. It's not. I value the guy absolutely 100%. And people do value him, otherwise they won't watch him. So when I refresh a few seconds after the crash, I get it back. It's strange. That's why Penguin to keep my sanity. That's like I keep sanity. We don't see as much as Penguin. I think Penguin is very underestimated. I do. I think that guy's got some serious skills. In fact, a trader buddy of mine said he was borderline genius. I think that's right. He can read these markets like a bloody, like a palm reader reads your hand. Mac is a very experienced trader. Yeah, no, we're not bad-mouthing him at all. No, I think the guy's an absolute diamond. I do. It's okay to, to say, I wish he'd give us. We're saying, I wish he'd give us more. If you're bad-mouthing somebody, you'd say, I wish he wouldn't. But I want him to give us more. I want to get to know him. I'd love to, to watch him trade and to do what I do and say what he's seeing. I love that. I think the guy's got way more value. I just wish he'd give us it. Thomas and Payne, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thomas, great trader. The only thing that frustrates me a little bit about him is when he used to do some of his live trades, his runner would come down here for 10 or 12 points and he'd keep his stop, and sometimes it'd come back up and take it. And I'm thinking, grab some profit. But no, he's very sensible and very clear. And one of the things that attracted me to Thomas Wade initially was he was one of the very few traders that was comfortable showing his losses. Now, I think that's a strength, not a weakness, that you show your losses. because it's important to show people that even experienced traders take losses. I think seeing an experienced trader taking losses makes you feel better. My God, Lance Thomas managing runners made me explode. I know, yeah. I know everyone, you know, like Max says, a runners is the personal thing, but I seen him do 12 or 15 points once and it came back and stopped him out. And I was like, oh, you'd be better off just taking the profits, but, you know, that's all right. You know, everybody does their own thing. He does trade a small bit. I think he does 7 contracts normally and with one runner, but he likes to go for some big moves, and that's all right. I get that. But yeah, I'm desperate for him to push his. He doesn't show as many live trades as he used to, but that's one of the things I used to like about him. I still like him, don't get me wrong. I have him on my, what's it? I look at these two. Dan and Thomas Wade. Thomas Wade trades more like me, same sort of setups. Dan trades more like Mac. I'm trying to get into Dan's head a little bit because I think Dan's got some serious skills. He sees lots of trades that I don't really see. I think a lot of his trades seem quite advanced, but they're very clever trades. So I try and watch a lot of him. But I think the trick is when you're in this business is to find people that are good at something and study them and watch them and learn from them. You know, there's some valuable people. I got to say, Dan's only ever been supportive of me. He's never asked me for a penny for anything, and he's quite happily answered my questions every time. And I think that's nice to have that. So I'm always appreciative of anybody who's ever taken any time to help me in any way. But it's much better to trade with other people, whether it's on a stream or on a forum or on a Discord or whatever. Because I think you learn a lot more when there's a bunch of you because you kind of feed off each other. You know, if I know something, you pick it up from me. If you know something, I pick it up from you, and so on. Israel Dan's the man. How you doing, Israel? He is. He's a great trader, Dan is. He's very good at reading the charts, and yeah, I definitely advise you to watch him. And also, as well, if you are in his forum, watch his. I didn't even realise he did these. Watch his videos. Where are they? These videos. He talks about what he's seeing, and I like that. That's the kind of where I wanted Mac to be. So if you are in his forum, it's only $25 a month. I'd absolutely watch those. They're invaluable, they are. They have some nice chat there. I don't follow the chat as much. Obviously, my focus is on me and your comments, really, but I think that's Mac's chart, isn't it? So look at that. So, channel down here with a break. Yeah, Mac's got that as well. Oh no, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it's. Yeah, it is. It's Mac's. So he's just put that up, isn't he? There's that bit of chop there. Push back up in the channel, yeah. But yeah, I watch Thomas Wade absolutely, but I want to be more like Dan, because he's got some real skills. Dan has. He to me, he's, you know, there are people who are naturally good at stuff, and you know, I'm not saying that because he allows me in his forum for free. I'm saying that because I genuinely mean it. I want all of them to live stream. Mate, if Dan started live streaming, I'd close my live stream and watch him myself. And I have asked him half a dozen times. And I've said, charge people £100 a month. I'd pay it, or $100. I'd pay it. He'd make a fortune. But, you know, if you're a good trader and you're making money, you don't need the money. And he thinks it will... Excuse me a minute. He thinks it will affect his trading. This is my second bottle I bought today. odd leg 10, heavily peated from Isla, 46% non-chill filtered. This is one of my favourite whiskies. It's not cheap, it's £50 a bottle this. They got a good offer on at the moment. Down at 35, so I'm going to have one little glass of this and that'll do me for, well, I don't like to have too much on the stream, a couple of doubles and I'm done. It's the equivalent of 2 beers. Trading and drinking isn't a good combination. Oh, that is intense. Missed anything? It's my secret stash that gets hidden behind my desk so when my wife can't see it. She's got a tendency to wanting a drink. And I want the good stuff for me. She can have the cheap stuff. Said that anyway. That's just between you and me. Cheers, everyone. It's really light in colour, that is. So, that looks like a spiking channel with a break. It's hard to say, though. If this is a channel that hasn't had a break, and it could be, this may come down. How you doing, Osam? Oh. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Kirk, how you doing? I'm good, mate. I'm in a good place, actually. I'm enjoying my train. I still have my ear cups, but compared to how I felt a year ago, I was borderline throwing myself in front of a train. So little channel with a break, possibly a higher low. I'm not sure about this. We could get a leg and a leg. If this hasn't had a break, this may be a break, which may mean it comes down. I'm not sure at the moment. I would have said at first glance that is probably a small break and a new low, but you never know. So this could come down for a second leg. So I'm a bit on the fence here. It's a little bit congested here, so there is a higher low there, but I don't like taking higher lows when they're that tight together. This is stacking up for a stinger, this is. So my gut feeling is we're going to get a second leg down here. Once it starts going sideways, it's struggling. So my gut feeling is I think we may get something like that. Which case, market will break below there, giving us that second move down. Whether we get right the way down here or whether this is just a push up with a bounce off this area before it pushes higher, I don't know. But I'm guessing that trade there after a break triggered is going to get stopped out. Finally caught. Not to take with the trend after an overshoot. There's so many little rules and sort of nuances, isn't there, that you kind of learn and pick up. There's lots of little bits and pieces. It's almost like a fine painting, isn't it? It's not something you can knock up overnight. It's something just added a bit more detail and a bit more detail. And slowly all these little, I suppose it's like a big complex jigsaw. The more pieces you put together, the more the picture starts to be clearer. Now, looking on here, there's 2 legs down and a bullish bar. So this is interesting, this. So that, yeah, I'm a bit on the fence here. It's a bit stacked up. It could push up above there and stop these 2 levels out, or it could push down as a failure and take out that. But it's a little bit sideways here. So this is the 2000 tick chart I'm looking at. So you've got to be a little bit careful here. It's a little bit rangy. Now, leg down with a bounce and a bullish bar. That to me looks like it may be getting trapped, so there could be a failure which is telling me if there is a channel down, this is a break. That may come down, but it's stacking up, so it's a danger zone here. So if you're in this long gear, you'd be feeling a bit vulnerable now. So that is a failure. Do I really want to take that? No, because it's sideways. It could break out and push up. It's no good on my other chart here. It looks even choppier here. Karina. Am I still here? Can you still see me okay? Can you? I will say, usually I can see my chart. See if I see this here. This is my thumbnail. Usually this is what I see, but occasionally that thumbnail. So whether it is just disconnecting or reconnecting, what I will say is my views are a little bit higher than they normally are. So I'm guessing people are disconnecting and reconnecting. So whether that has anything to do with it, I don't know. It may be a YouTube issue. My internet looks okay. See what I mean about here? If you took that failure, it's triggered and starting to push up. So it's a bit of a no trade zone. This, it's kind of making up its mind what it wants to do. Glass half full. Yeah, it is. I should top it. I should top it up. Oh, I could be a professional whiskey drinker for a living. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I will do. Drink for us. I will. Don't you worry. See what I mean about that? If you took that failure thinking, yeah, you're trapping along, this is coming down, what happens? It comes down a couple of ticks, turns up, stops you out. That's why it's dangerous trading here. And I like seeing that because it does remind you, although it kind of looks like it's moving down, but because it's chopping, and obviously this is a picture we see all the time. We push up, we go sideways, we push up. So, you know, I dare say we've made one attempt to go higher, second attempt, third attempt, second entry long, failure, great, let's go short. No, because you're going short into support, clearly going sideways, so it triggers you, pushes up and stops you out. More frustration. So the good thing about getting stopped out in those is you do learn to stay out of it. So if you are getting stopped out and frustrated, just think how many valuable, try and think about it like this. You're getting first-hand valuable experience and how trading is going to change your life and make you money. So when you get stopped out, think about it as not frustration. Think about it as a free lesson in what not to do. I tell you now, honest to God, the more you get stopped out and trapped in trades, the better you get at recognizing them, the sooner or later you start to avoid them. And when you do start to see them, I saw that straight away and thought, danger zone. The temptation to jump in there thinking we've had a break, we're coming down, to jump in there, but I've been stuck so many times I left it alone, and what happened? I was right. So once you start to see, when you stay out of these, you end up being right. It's a nice feeling, and that just sort of reaffirms that skill is growing. I'd have got crucified on that 100 times over in the past. Starting to look at each time, fell second entry long, fell second entry short, fail, how many points they go up, and start to look for them. Yeah. Yeah, the more you sit in front of these charts, the more you start to work out how they kind of work. Basically third entry, yeah. It's a nice feeling when you start to stay out of trades that would have gone against you. I love it when that happens because it just it you know, reaffirms that you are learning. There is another prop firm I'm hearing of. Funded Next Futures. Anybody else heard of those? All I would say with some of these new companies is let them run for a little bit first before you stick your money in there. You never know what you get yourself in for, or just keep it down to one account. I like to think when is it Fast Track Trading went under, there was a couple of people who said they had money in them. One guy said he had about 60,000 of them. Oh, it must have been heartbreaking. We see a lot of small ranges of failure, pushes out the range, and it just turns into a failed breakout and comes back. Yeah. Best thing to do when it's doing this, it probably looks similar on this chart, but I've got these bars slightly wider, which is looking like it's clogging up really, but it is just choppy. Yeah, there's probably traders, you know, maybe is this going to push up or is it going to come down? My guess is it probably is, because we've broken below the lows and we've pushed up, and it does look like we may be bouncing. So there is a higher low there, so that may get us up. But my guess is we probably do something like this. Now we've got that, I'd say it's probably going to break above this area here, but because it's so choppy, there's no guarantees. But I think that probably will get above here, and if it does, I'd say it's going to break above there, but it could just chop up and come down. Invictus, Funded Next Futures. I've heard of them. They are for... Oh, okay, I've got you. Expanded into futures. The good thing about all these prop firms coming out, yeah, okay, so it did what I expected. We got a big bullish bar there, followed by a higher low, eventually went up, broke these highs. So I'm guessing a leg and leg. The good thing about having all these companies coming out is they're all fighting for our business, so it just makes things better for us. The more they argue, the cheaper they become, and the better off we are. There was a temptation to take that, but because it is still choppy, you never know whether it's going to tick above and come down. Looks different on the ES. Yeah, do you know, what I think it is, Kurt, is I've got these bars slightly wider, the width of them, so it looks like it's clogging up a bit. So if I compress these together, it's kind of similar. It does look a bit messier here, to be fair, but remember I mentioned earlier, we often get a leg up sideways and a leg and up, so it's just two legs really. But I mean, look at that takeoff. So once we start to get above a few stops here, then that thing just, it went. I mean, that's flown, that has. From the top of here, we're up 20 points in no time. So if you did take that one, if you took a point profit, that'd be heartbreaking. Used to avoid. It's too high word. Excuse me, just 1 second. It's the wife. I can't ignore it. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Okie dokie. So let's have a wee looky. So push up. Looking for a break. Hello, young'un. Come on. Oh, sorry. I thought I had the mic off. Excuse me a sec. Okay, so channel with a break. One attempt to go higher. See if we get a... No, I'm going to say a lower high, but... It keeps crashing. Yeah, you might just have to put up with it for today, but I think it's YouTube. I've done my speed test and I'm showing about 700 megabits download and about 900 upload. So it may be YouTube. I'm not too sure. How long I've been trading for now. So I'm only going to do an extra 45 minutes. So you may have to just keep sort of jumping in or something. I don't know. There's much I can do at the moment. I think it's probably because of YouTube, to be honest with you. It's YouTube just disconnecting people. Yeah, it sounds like it's YouTube. I don't know why it does it. It doesn't often, to be fair. So we got a break, new high. See if we can get a lower high here or a failure trapping some longs. We could argue that, actually. That's quite a strong move up, isn't it? With a break and a new high. If we get a lower high or failure here, depending on where it closes, I may go short just to get below that bar because it is a failure, but it's struggling to come down. I mean, that's a really strong move to at least have a break like that and not come back. But I don't think it's going to turn into a bearish bar, I don't think. Just doesn't, it looks like it's holding to me. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, I'd say it's probably YouTube. I'm just looking on YouTube here and I'm just looking at Bye Money. He's only got 75 watches. He usually has more than that. Nutty's only got 430. He usually has more than that. So my guess is Bart's finished, I think. My guess is maybe YouTube is playing up, I think. It might be. I mean, it's doing great guns for my views because people are disconnecting and reconnecting. It's I'm lucky if I get 500 these days. But viewers are usually, concurrent viewers are probably around the 50-ish. 50, 60, maybe as much as 70 on occasion. So I think if people are getting disconnected, they're probably just giving up. So whether it's a YouTube issue, but it rarely happens, see, so I'm not concerned. It might just be YouTube. So channel break, 2 pushes down, new high. So it's probably just YouTube. I won't worry too much. Chase used to work with girls sometimes, not always. Sometimes high probability, sometimes not. Sometimes depending on the girl and the set. Yeah, I'm with you. Dan just said the only time he's seen a trade today is a second entry short just after the market opened, which is a run about here. So that would have been there. Second entry short. It wasn't very good on here, but on here, I remember talking about it. It was that bar there. Do you remember? 2 legs up. It looked okay on here because remember me saying both these bearish bars are triggering the bullish bars, but on here it was naff. But yeah, I mean, we're clearly working down there. 2 attempts to push up, bearish bar. You expect to get below that, and if not below that. So that's the only trade he's seen, and I agree. Unfortunately, on here, it didn't look as good. Both my bullish bars were higher than the bearish bars. On here, it was the other way around. So sometimes chasing works, trading them off him. Al Brooks will jump on a breakout. Yeah, see, Al Brooks is just, I mean, I think that guy was probably born in the New York Stock Exchange. He's just one of these technical genius wizard types, isn't he? That just, his brain's almost like a supercomputer, Al Brooks. So I quite a few people have said I should do his course, actually. Any type of trading you learn from anybody who's any good, I think will only benefit you. So we've had a little break, a little bit of a flat spot here, back to the EMA, and we've pushed up, and now we're going a bit square. So there's nothing you can really do here. So a little bit of a, I still wouldn't take a, you know, I rarely take failed breakouts. I wouldn't, there's a few different setups that are not what I would consider my forte that I've been taking recently. I think a lot of them have been not working. There was a failed breakout I took the other day which didn't work. So I'm kind of avoiding them unless they're absolutely obvious, and stick to the trades. Just be aware of them and stick to the trades that I'm kind of better at. I think if you see someone taking a certain type of a setup, rather than jump straight in and take them yourself, just monitor them and watch them, and then trying to figure out what's going on. See, look at this 10,000 tick chart. We've got this channel down with a break and a new low. We've got 2 pushes up. There's a bearish bar there that's triggered. So see, it depends on how you see this. We could have a leg and leg down, maybe break it. I don't know. I'm clutching a bit there. So push up, a little bit of congestion, dropped out, fell, pushed in. I'm avoiding these types of fail breakouts unless they've been congesting for a while. Second entry short with a trend at the 6 minutes after the open. Yeah, it looked okay on the where was it there? It looked okay here because I think really at the time market was doing that. So if you, when you look at it like that, blinder, isn't it? It's slightly sideways, so, but is it? We've got 2 green bars or 2 bull bars which trigger and 2 bear bars, 1 bull bar which trigger and a bear bar. So it's slightly congested, but it's readable. Now, I avoided it purely because on my chart, it didn't look as good. Now, here, both times, we've pushed above and we've had a bear bar. We've pushed above and had a bear bar. It's the other way around here. The bull bar is high in the bear bar and same there. So there's no real setup here. So, you know, I could have swapped onto here, but I've got all my Replicanto set to MES and all that. So I just avoid it. But, you know, as a setup, it's great, I think. Not only that, you've got a bull bar here and a higher low there, which is triggered and come down. So you have to say the chance of that getting stopped out is pretty high. So there's 3.5 points, and if it does it, that chances are it's going to break below there. So if you went short there and you went for 5 points, the second you broke below there, you've got your 5 points. So now, once you get really good at reading these markets, I saw something. I'll read it to you. I saw this. Marco sent me a picture the other day. We trade whiskey pictures. He was drinking a bottle of Dallimore. So I saw this. You can't read it, but I'll read it to you. And I saw this on his wall, and I really liked it. It's a quote by Mark Douglas, and it says, "For those who have learned how to become consistent or broken through what I call the threshold of consistency, the money is not only within their grasp, they can virtually take it at will." I'm sure some will find this statement difficult to believe, but it's true. Mark Douglas, I like that. Just got to nail it to my wall. Makes perfect sense. When you get good at reading these charts, it's almost like walking the streets. You see a pound note, you pick it up. But obviously, you've got to get to that level. And I'm closer than I've ever been. Is Dan going for 6 ticks? Yes. I don't know whether... I believe he's gone for a little bit more, but now that ATR is getting down, that's what he goes for. But I believe he hasn't lost a trade since last October. And I think Dan probably averages a couple of trades a day. Having said that, this week someone told me he hadn't taken a trade, but I expect Dan to take between 5 and 10 trades a week, possibly a bit more. So what's that, 20 to 40 trades a month if he hasn't lost a trade for 5-6 months. It just goes to show when you get good at price action how accurate it can be. And that's kind of where my trading is lacking a touch. I've looked back on my trades and majority of my losses are in congestion. The majority of my wins are, so for me, if you see a trade that literally jumps in front of you and you can't click the button quick enough, they're the ones to wait for. It's a great second entry short. Yeah, absolutely. Was waiting for the lower high to confirm. Back here, yeah. It's, you know, the only slightly negative thing about that trade for me personally is that it's a little bit sideways, but you know, that's kind of how these sort of trade channels work. Sometimes we push up, we go sideways. We push up, we go sideways. But sometimes it's just a little unclear. But yeah, I mean, now we got hindsight on our side. You can see what's happened. We push, we have a break, we have a couple of legs up, and eventually it works its way down. But yeah, I mean, if you can pick the top or pick the failure or whatever that runs us down. But yeah, I'd say the only thing for me that slightly may concern me here is it's a little bit of a range. Having said that, there's something else I've noticed. Not only is it a second entry short, it's a 1, 2, 3 triple test off the key entry point. So it's a second entry short, triple test, 2 legs up. Sometimes, you know, when you look at these and you look back, you pick up little things. I never noticed the triple test. I was more concerned with the 2 legs up. But it makes sense it's going to break below there, and there's 5 points available to the lows. And basically that's what it did. It broke the lows and then turned. You know, this is the channel. We got to the bottom here, two legs back here. We got to the bottom here, 2 legs back. We didn't quite get to the bottom here, did we? And then we managed to break these lows. Usually when we don't get to the bottom, we get a break, and sure enough, we did. So, you know, you get better and better at spotting these, and, you know, the more I hear Max saying this stuff will just come in time, you'll just be able to see it clearly. I'm finding I'm getting more and more. It's kind of like I like predicting where I think prices are going to go, because it helps me understand that I'm reading the chart right. Brent, this environment, I'd ignore it. If it gets more than halfway towards EMA, from the highs and lows, typically, yeah. I mean, there's no harm in waiting for something to look high quality. You know, I think if you're saying I don't think it's quite good enough, I think that's a big strength. So I wouldn't ignore that for sure. You know, the more finicky you get in this business, the better you're going to become, I think. You know, I was chatting with a trader buddy of mine, Nick, who lives in the US from Tampa, and he said to me the thing about Dan is he can filter out all this shit. And I think that's the key, and that comes with time. You'll start to just filter out the crappy trades and pick up those ones that, you know, kind of jump in front of the road and wave. And it's just keeping reminding yourself of wait for those trades. We all know those trades that you jump into. You think, I love that. And then when they work, everyone starts talking about them. Did you take that? Did you take that? I took it. And you find out every man and his dog jumped off it. Those are the types of trades you take. And then as you get better, you start to pick off. I tell you, trades I've got my eye on at the moment is these ones where you have a sharp channel with a break, a second leg up, and a lower high back to the EMA. I've always avoided those, but I see Dan taking more and more of those. And those of, I think when you start to, you build up your sort of repertoire of setups. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. He takes a lot of those types of trades. I bet I won't find one now. Oh, yeah, here's one. Well, it's not a perfect example, but it's not far off. So he takes a lot of these such. We have a sharp channel up with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, bearish bar. Why would you take that? You don't know when it's going to trigger you and push up, but the chances are when we've had a break and we have 2 pushes to a new high, in most cases it'll come back to the EMA. At the moment, I'm waiting for the lower high. But you can see what I mean, can't you? Why would you just pick that? It's kind of floating between the top and the bottom. But if you know how to read the market and you can recognise we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high, usually it comes back to the EMA. So he takes a lot of those types of trades. It's probably not the best example, that one. Let's have a look here. So channel, break, new high. Slightly a risky one. Lower high would have been better. But I see him take a lot of these type of trades where we have a channel, we have a break and channel, break, new high, or 2 legs, and then he rides it back to the EMA. It's something I've never taken, but sometimes when you look at someone, you know, as your skills improve, you start to notice things, and it is adding extra strings to your bow. And then obviously as your repertoire expands, so do the amount of trades you take. Pretty much helps keep you big. Absolutely. I wouldn't do these because to me it'd be picking tops and bottoms, but if we've had a channel with a break and a new high and we get a lower high, chances are it comes back to the EMA. So I've just sometimes, as your brain's full of information, when you process that, you're open to another idea and you take that in and mull that over. And that's something I'm seeing more and more of. So it's just something I've been noticing a lot lately that I've never really taken. So I'm going to start to sort of, notice and be. I took one the other day. I mentioned it to Dan, actually. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He didn't like it on on the ES, but on the MES, it was channel break new high and it was a failure. So I'm just kind of paying more and more attention to that. Just looking at Nutty, see how he's getting on. I really like him. He's doing well lately, he is. I'm really pleased for him. He's a really nice bloke. He's kind of taken over from Alpine a bit. Alpine seemed to be the man at the time, didn't he? When he was doing his open range trades, but he's struggling lately. And I was listening to him yesterday. I was watching some of his stream, and he was getting quite grumpy on the stream with people. So it's for me, he's kind of been knocked off his perch a little bit, and I think he's been finding things a little bit difficult. Now, trading isn't always a nice smooth run. Sometimes struggling, but I think he's still winner overall. Yeah, the thing is with him, he doesn't really revenge trade. The only thing he does, which kind of frustrates me, is when a trade goes against him, he'll move his stop until his kind of trade loses. But he's just going for a bit of a slump at the moment. I don't think it'll last, but I think we all do that. But Nutty at the moment just seems like he's on fire. I like his attitude. He kind of takes it in his strides. I think Alpine is a little bit like me. When things go wrong, you get a bit frustrated, a bit grumpy. And sometimes that can be a little bit detrimental. But Nutty's got a kind of a nice, light-hearted attitude, and I think that certainly helps. Another guy I've been watching a bit as well is from Wrench Trading. Is it Wrench Capital? Sorry. Nick Wrench. I've seen him get battered on the trades, and he doesn't seem to change. His emotions just seem to stay the same. So he's another trader I think who's really, now the types of scalping he does is very, very fast. He adds to it, takes bits away. I don't even get half the time what he's doing, but he seems to be able to just focus. His emotions don't seem to play much of a part, not from what I can see. Learn their craft in a bullish market and then perhaps can't change it. Yeah, you have to. Who's Nutty? I'll show you. He trades NQ micros, I think. This guy here. He's a lovely guy. Let's open his stream. He's just a nice bloke, he is. But if you look, his expenses $15,000 just for the first 3 months. But he's made about 80,000. There you go, 84,000. So he's up 70,000 just after the first quarter. But he is just a really nice guy. I chat to him quite a bit, actually. He's just a really friendly guy. He's a really comical guy. So I enjoy watching him, I do. But I find Alpine's a bit of a grump lately. Nutty's flying. He is, yeah. Do you know what? I know some people don't like it when other people are showing success, but I'm the opposite. I love it because it just shows you can make money. We all hear stories about so-and-so's made this, so-and-so, but when you see it, I love it, I do. I really like seeing about people doing well because it gives me hope. So he's just a nice, friendly guy. I just love his attitude towards trading. I find Alpine's very British. He goes quiet and a bit grumpy. That's kind of what we do. You US guys tend to get your emotions out, but Alpine's, mind you, he's Polish, isn't he? The worst is a grumpy. Oh yeah, you American guys and gals, if something's frustrating you, you'll out and say it. You'll get it out your system. You know, you guys, therapy is a big thing. We don't do that in the UK. We bottle our emotions up, and it's no good for you. You've got to get them out. And I keep forgetting actually that Alpine is Polish, isn't he? You know, I was watching a YouTube video the other day. It was about the worst crashes on YouTube with traders, people losing massive amounts of money, and I was in stitches, I've got to say. If you ever see that video, good old whiskey, yeah, exactly, yeah. We don't talk about our emotions. We stick them in a glass and drink them. But I was watching a video. I think it was the worst crashes from traders on stream, and I seen one from Patrick Whelan maybe a couple of years ago. I think he lost about 30 grand or something. He was effing and blinded, and I was in stitches, I got to say. But it was some young guy as well. He bought some stock or something, and the thing just absolutely collapsed. And I think his PC crashed, and he couldn't get out of it. And I don't know, crazy. But nutty, just nutty bar trading. I think I don't mind showing other traders or other streamers if I think they're nice. Just nutty bar trade. He's just a lovely bloke. There he is. He was Amish. He was brought up as Amish. He's in a trade there now, but I love his attitude. You know, if he's blown a ton of accounts, he'll come forward and say it. You know, he'll say, you know, he'll have a really light-hearted attitude, but he's just a nice guy, I think. And anybody who's nice and helpful and friendly, I got a lot of time for. So, Nutty Bar Trading, his name is. Well, his channel is. Lester, his real name is, but he's a nice bloke. So if you don't watch him, check him out. I'll have a chat with him once in a while. Sometimes after I finish streaming, he tends to stream a bit longer. So I'll nip over sometimes after me dinner and have a chat with him. But so what is going on with this market? What's happened there? Nutty's very simple pullback. Yeah, he does. I don't quite understand his strategy. Yeah, I think he kind of goes with the flow a bit, but whatever he does, he's making money out of it. So, you know, he's reading something right. You know, we go for specific kind of setups here. Is more a kind of it looks like it's doing this, a kind of a feel for it, which you know, which can work. So channel break, new low. What's going on here? We've got a channel up. It's a bit hard to read this at the moment. Channel break, new low, channel break. This looks like it's coming down, not going up. Mythical Man lost all his POs. Mythical Man, I've heard of him. Yeah, I've seen Wilson. You know, Wilson's very robust. He can take a knock and come back. It's people like that are going to stay around, and eventually they'll get, you know, he had a tough year year before last, but he did okay. He had some decent payouts last year. So it's about having that kind of resilience to be able to take it on the chin, you know, get it out your system and come back. And if you can do that, it'll work for you. It's just a matter of time. But he, quite a few times he busted 20 accounts, and that must be absolutely heartbreaking. Wow, I didn't think that would happen. But channel break, new low, channel break, new high. So it's a bit hard to read this, isn't it? Is there a bigger channel down there? There could be, actually. It's not the best looking. Or is it? So channel break, new high. Are we bouncing off here? Short back to the EMA. I don't think it's a bad option. Trouble is, it's a big bar. Yeah, is this the top of the range? In which case, I think that'll get to the EMA. There's just not much There's not much room elsewhere, is there? It's such a big bar, so if you get in here, 2.5 points, it may go lower, but channel break, new high bearish bar. It's more likely going to get back to the EMA. Is it going to go any lower? Who knows? Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, really, isn't it? So if we look at the 10,000 tick chart, it looks like two legs. Is this going up or is it coming down? It's hard to say. We could say a leg down with a break and a new low, but it's kind of a bit messy, isn't it? Looked like a second entry short. It did, yeah, but for me there just wasn't quite enough room to the EMA. I mean, if we'd done that and bounced clearly off support, it might not be a bad option. I mean, there's liquidity here and here, so maybe a lower high. Who knows? There's the other guy, Wrench Capital. Losses don't seem to affect that bloke. Now, you don't know what happens in people's heads, but they certainly, when he loses trades, he takes a lot of trades as well, so maybe that kind of comes with the territory. But he comes over as a guy who's got a lot of self-control. Wrench Capital. Nick Wrench, his name is. So, yeah, I like the trade, just not a huge amount of distance. I'm going to have one more. Let's me look. Nice second entry short, just not much room to the EMA. Certainly enough for Mac, I think. Not for me, bud, no. No. Hasn't been a lot today. I don't mind. I don't mind not taking a trade. That's much better than taking a loss. MES at the moment, that ATR is still a bit too high. Once it gets below 4, I'll move back over to the ES. But I've got the ES on my left chart because that's normally my chart. So I've just got this, you know, just to keep the same sort of, you know, the same sort of ideas. So channel break, new high bearish bar, and then down. The trouble is I didn't know whether it would continue up. So there is support here, but I think it's a little bit lower than I would have liked to think about getting in. So I'm reading my range highs as kind of up here. We didn't quite get up high enough for me to be, you know, not concerned that we're going to try and push higher. But that type of trade almost always really works. But there just wasn't enough space, really. You got on a tick below it. It's just there wasn't, you know, it's not a huge amount. I'm back to net 3600 on my file collapse. MSTR. So the put expires. Yeah, I've never tried options. Don't even know how options work, to be honest with you. Options are fun but spooky. I haven't got a clue how they work. I've just never really looked into them. So, are we going to channel down? Looks like it. Options, time based instead of target based. Yeah, I don't even understand the concept, to be honest with you. Probably should. We should know. I've only ever really traded futures and currency. A little bit of crypto, but more spot bought them rather than traded them. I've traded them a little bit, just once, twice. That's all. But no. So, is this a push up with 2 attempts? Are we just getting 2 legs down and this thing may go higher? So just looking at that 10,000 tick chart, channel break, new low. We're pushing up. We've had a break. 1, 2 attempts to push up. We're pushing up higher. I don't know. Call it an educated guess, nothing more. Kind of had 2 legs. We're going a little bit sideways. So are we having 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, followed by a 2nd leg up? You can bet there'll be liquidity across the top here. So channel break, new low, channel break, new high. Bounce and bounce. It sort of resembles 2 legs, doesn't it? So who knows? Leg and a leg. Looks like a measured move or close to. No, nowhere near actually, but kind of get the idea. Leg and a leg. So we got a leg down with a correction and a leg down. A little bounce there off. Is that the open? There's the open. No. Sorry, it's the midline of this. I sell in the money options, which most people would consider to be clinically diagnosable. It says diagnosable. Continuous rolling death wish. I like being married, really, isn't it? Being married, having kids. Sounds horrible, but it works. It's fun. Good yoga control. Yeah, look at this 10,000 tick chart now. Channel up. Is this a bounce? Kind of looks like it. We've had 2 pushes down to support, and the EMA. Is that a move up? You'd think so. And look it on this as well. You can see that move up there. It'd be interesting to see this. My guess is this is going to push those highs, depending on how it finishes. So I expect that to get up to there. Obviously depending on where it closes, but as long as this holds bullish, channel up with a break, leg, and push up. Whether it will or not, who knows, but that's to me. But if this is a channel, this is a break, so we may come down a bit lower. Leg up, correction. Oh, look at that. I did say that, channel with a break. Now, if we can get a second entry short there, I wouldn't mind having a go at that because we haven't made that second leg. I don't just want to jump in there just in case I'm wrong, but if we can get a second entry short, which we probably won't get now, who knows? Runner hit. You went long here, did you, or something? Okay, excuse me a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a minute. Right, where were we? Channel down there, one attempt to push higher, second attempt, it's just gone a bit choppy now. So channel break, new extreme. That channel played out. YouTube keeps crashing. Yeah, I can, do you know, I can tell because one, my views are a bit low. Sorry, my current viewers are low, and I never get 800 views now. Now that's, I'm guessing, because it's disconnected and reconnecting. I'm guessing that it's happening with YouTube, because when I look at a couple of other streamers, they're getting lower than normal views. So it's probably YouTube. So I'm guessing it's just going to be today. How long I've been trading for? 2 hours and 24. So I'm going to be done in 20 minutes anyway. So channel down, 2 attempts to push high, bearish bar. We're down. I wouldn't have taken that short because we've already had a break and a new extreme, so it's already played out. So 1, 2, 3. My guess is I'm just not thinking about longs at the moment because this to me looks like it's slowly working down. Although we are bouncing off this midline, if you like this, but for me, this has got more of a bearish feel for it, just this section. So going long isn't something. And not only that, if you look at the 10,000 tick chart, we've got a channel with a break, one attempt to go higher, and that looks to me like a failure. Probably some long stuck there and there. So for me, this looks like it's going down. So, you know, it's very tempting to think this is going down. Let's see if we break above this and take a lower high. But when it's like this, thinking the market's going to do something and it doing it sometimes can be two different things. This is clearly just chopping up and down at the minute, so I'm just staying out of this regardless. Even if we break above this and I think this is coming down, I'm just sitting tight. Because market's got a habit of when you get into trades in this stuff of just chopping you up. Someone is watching Black Mirror new season. Black Mirror new season. I've not even heard of that. Black Mirror new season. Yeah, May's flat. It is a bit short. I mean, it's kind of looking like it's slowly working down, but sometimes it'll do that and then rock it up. But I mean, you could say a triple test and push up, but the fact that price is doing this at the moment is keeping me out of going longer. And probably short. If you look on the ES here, possible second entry short. So if you took that long and that long, you may be in trouble. But I don't know what it's doing because it is chopping up and down. Struggling to get up to the tops here. We've had two legs up, we've two legs down, and we've gone up. We only got 2/3 of the way and we dropped. So this to me looks maybe a second attempt to go lower. So this thing may drop as well. We went up there, didn't we? Woke above that and then just dropped. So this is struggling to get up. So I wouldn't want to get into a trade here in case this thing decides to take a U-turn. Someone saw China memes with AI about Americans working. Oh, okay. The Bone Spur is throttling all foreign YouTube streams traders trying to capitalize on vulnerable, naive American traders. Interesting. Can't trade this stuff at the moment, can you? Got no Marco from now. He's I reckon he's gone abroad over to Turkey for a week. I'm assuming a week. I was just looking, thinking, why isn't he trading today? I forgot he's on holiday. It's very tempting to take a long trade out. Yeah, it is. It's very tempting to take a long trade off here, looking how many times it's bouncing. But the fact that the tops are getting progressively lower, just can't do it. It's just so dangerous to trade this. And usually, whenever you see it doing it 3 times, it pushes up. The second you get in on the 3rd or 4th attempt, it seems to do the complete opposite. Yeah, mess is the right word, mate. You can swear, mate. You don't have to say frigging. Get it out of your system. Yeah. If you think it, say it. I don't mind you swearing. Yeah, it's getting a bit of a mess, isn't it? Floppy cock. Even better. We use poppycock over here, where it's a load of rubbish. Complete poppycock. We have some strange sayings over in the UK. Market's done a lot of this week, hasn't it? Loads of just chopping up and down. Oh, now we're getting a bit of flickering around. Ooh, what's caused that? That lag's up as well. Something's happened in the news, I'm guessing. That lag shot up to red. A lot of volatility. 1, 2, 3 spikes up in a big bearish bar. Lance, bless his God. Yeah, that's another one. 1, 2, 3 triple test. Would you go short here? Maybe in some circumstances, but this thing is just popping up and down a bit. So, I'm guessing that was some kind of news. I can't see what else it would have been that pushed that up all of a sudden. Maybe buyers. I don't know, that pushed up 10 or 12 points in a second, and that one started. Well, usually when it's flickering like that and that lag moves up, there's all of a sudden a lot of volume come in. So 1, 2, 3 triple test. I know it was a terrible trade to come down and test these lows, but it's quite a big bar, and when it's flickering around like that, I try and ignore the urge to jump in. I used to do it thinking, oh, big flick down, loads of sellers, but sometimes it gets you in a spot bother. I'm going to pick up a few more evals, I think, for Monday. I might do a couple later, actually. My normal channels, my normal accounts, I locked now to 6:30, but I might pick up a couple of evals later. So if you got in there, trouble is when it's flickering like that, you never quite know where it's going to go, but there's points there, but it's just getting a bit hard now. Mind you, having said that, if you buy the bottoms, it pushes up. You buy that one, it pushed up. You buy that one, it pushed up. If you sell the tops, came down, came down, came down, came down. So it is working like a range. So the top, you expect that to come down the bottom. It's actually a fair size range, to be honest with you. It's not tiny. It looks tiny, but it's 10 points. So if you think about this, channel down, 2 attempts to push high, came down, 1, 2, 3, triple test. My gut feeling is this is going to come down now, break below here. So that's my gut feeling, because we've had a correction, we've pushed down, we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts to higher. This bar is broken above any liquidity here. So my gut feeling is this is going to come down below this level. which means I'm not interested in a buy there. I mean, I could be completely talking out my arse, but the fact that we've had 1, 2, 3 pushes up, we've pushed out and we've made 3 clear attempts to push up. There's a big bearish bar there. My guess is it's going to break this level here. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to force myself to drink another whiskey. You know, I hate that. I can see this just going up, dropping quickly. There we go. So we've broken that line. Now where do we go? So channel up break, 2 pushes to a new high, 2 legs down, a correction, we push down, we make 1, 2, 3 attempts to push higher, and then we come down Glenlivet straight. In fact, I very nearly bought a Glenlivet earlier, the 12-year-old, the green bottle. I've had the green, the 15 French Oak, and the Caribbean Reserve. Many of them. Very easy drinking. Stress-induced method. If I'm wrong, I force myself to drink. Now, I may have had a go at that. I think, holy shit sticks. What's going on here? Look at this. This is hardly moving. Look at the ES. Wow. This is hardly moving. Oh, now it's moving. Oh, crikey. This went first, followed by this. What is going on? Somebody's saying something. Look at that lag. It's gone over 20. Oh, my God. Look, we haven't got any news, have we? Something's happened in the news. NQ's moving. Yeah, it's weird. I noticed the ES flying first, and this was doing nothing all of a sudden. Somebody's tweeted something, hasn't they? This is happening more and more, this is. I tell you what, Trump's not very trader friendly, is he? That's if it is Trump, of course. Somebody's said something. My lag on the MS is okay. Mine just shot up to, I mean, it's 0.0 something. It's shot up to 19 or 20. There's some sort of news. Financial, something's bound to happen. What time is it? 4:50 by any chance, is it? No, 5 o'clock. Okay, US mortgage rates surged by most of the year. Tariffs it. That's 5 o'clock. Trump very confident on a trade deal with the European Union. So, take your pick. This one happened a minute ago. So, Trump very confident on trade deal with European Union. Market spiked up. Relatively good news, isn't it? So that may, I mean, this was literally 05. We're 07 now, so 2 minutes. 2 minutes ago. So I'm guessing that's probably why we had a strong push up. Trump very confident on trade deal with the European Union. So I'm guessing that's probably why. Every time this market moves, Trump's mentioned. So second entry long there, but a possible triple test. So I'm just staying out of this. We're still in this middle of a. We're still in this. Is this going higher? Maybe. Price broke lower, then spike. Yeah. See, on here we were already down the bottom, and it was flicking up and down, then shot up. This thing started pushing straight up. There is a higher low here. Actually, it's a failure trap in shorts, but we're above any possible shorts, apart from with the exception from this one and this one. So my guess is that's probably going to push higher, but I don't like the fact that it's gone into and found some support. But I think it will probably push up leg and a leg. That's a strong bar there. It's very tempting to get into that, but I'm going to resist the urge. But I'm guessing there's 5 points available to those highs, so I think that'll work. But I'm resisting. Bound to work. Yeah. Has it broken above it? I think it has. One more tick. Come on, son. Leg up, pull back, leg up. It's bound to, I think, isn't it? You're long. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it doesn't break above there. Leg up, leg up. It's very tempting, that is. It's kind of too late for me, really.
Order submitted.
I could probably put a limit order in here, but I don't think it's going to get me before it breaks that. Trouble is we're finding support, so no. It's very tempting.
Order submitted.
Okay, we're in. Let's see if it gets above here. Oh, are you
Order
kidding me?
submitted.
Why am I only in for... Oh, I see, sorry. So, limit order for that. Strong move up. I'll be surprised if it doesn't push higher. Couldn't quite get above there. I was surprised it didn't, actually, to be fair. I should have took it initially, but I got on limit order thinking pull back and we push higher, but this is going to get me by the looks of things. I did, because of this, I was expecting a second leg up, pull back, leg up. And we didn't quite get out the top. Holy shit sticks, I'm getting out of this, if it gives me anything. Come on, push up. One, two, three, that's a triple test, but the stem's just naff.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm out. I thought that was going to go for a minute, but there you go. It is what it is. Oh, well, it happens, doesn't it? Leg up, sideways leg up. I thought we pull back to the EMA and then shoot up. I mean, if I'd have put it at break even, I'd have got out there, but I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? So, there we go. Back in the dealing range, yeah. So it's just one of them things, isn't it? I thought that was going to work. We had that nice, strong, positive news. We got a leg up, sideways leg up. I thought that was going up, but there we go. It happens. Been in this over an hour. Have you really? I know. 1, 2, 3 triple tests. Leg and a leg. Why can I not take a trade on that? That's unusual. Why is it not letting me take a trade? Strange. Set to 2 losses. That's unusual. Hold your horses. I could have sworn I've got it set to... That's unusual. Well, let me trade. Okay, I'm obviously done for the day. I thought I've got mine set to 2 losses for some reason, but I don't know why it's not letting me get back in. I'm obviously done for today, so I will leave it there, guys. So have a great long weekend. Easter Friday tomorrow, Good Friday tomorrow. So there we go, and I'll be back on Monday. So have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll catch up on Monday. Bye for now.